Okay, so the question was, when I tell people about my life story, they say they can't wait to see the movie. How do I find, or where do I find a filmmaker who wants to create an amazing film / movie / documentary? It depends. I mean, like if you want film, like narrative film and documentaries are very different. So if it's a film, it's most likely going to be like, oh, it's a film, but it's based on a true story or it's based on true events. It's going to be skewed a little bit. So it depends on what you want. If it's a documentary, then it's like an actual like.
Someone's going to be following you.
Someone's going to be following you around. There's going to be like they're going to ask for archive footage. They're going to try to reenact things. You know, they're all. It's really depends on what you want. So know what you want. If you're serious about making a movie about your life, whether it's your whole life, an autobiography, or a segment, a slice of your life, you know, it all depends. It could be like a Forrest Gump, or it could be like, you know,
Forrest Gump is great.
Yeah, it's his whole life, right? So, or it can be like, you know, a very specific part. I mean, clearly, if someone says like your whole life is amazing, you should make a movie out of it. Most likely, it's going to be autobiographical. Whether you want it to be more narrative-ish and based on you, or if you want it to be like word for word, this is what happened, you would know which route to go. Because narrative filmmakers and documentary filmmakers, while sometimes people are both, they're both very different crafts. And if they require different types of directing, different types of editing. So I would look for who would do that. Also, a person that is actually interested in your story and finds passion in telling it is going to be a way better storyteller than someone that's just in it for the budget or in it for the, you know, the credit.
True. Yeah.
It's going to come out way better. So make sure that when you are trying to find this person or interviewing the people, they clearly seem like passionate about your life story and want to tell it. And then how to find these people? That I would search your network. Obviously there's also LinkedIn if you could find filmmakers, but like it depends on your budget as well. What are you looking for? A short film filmmaker? Are you looking for a 20th Century Fox? Like, you know, like what are you looking for? What's in your budget? Who can you hire? So it all depends. So like obviously movie studios a lot harder to like. You're going to have to pitch it. It's going to go through this whole process. You got to find someone to do that for you. If it's going to be a documentary, you can find more of these smaller studios that specialize in documentary filmmaking. You can pitch the story to them, email them, find their studio, hire me. I do it. I guess I would be like, I don't have my own studio. Or if you hire us, I'll be filming it. So like, I guess you could say that's like the hierarchy. So like, there's like the individual filmmaker themselves. There's the people, the company that they work for, Vision Paradox. They're the bigger studios, so they have like a little bigger budget, but not big studios, but like say the documentary film studios. And then you have like the big boys, like, you know, Disney or whatever. Big boys. Yeah. So it's just like, what's in your budget? Who can you hire? You know, like it's not some like the movie business is a money business. You know, like it all depends. It's sad. It's artistic, but it's a commodity. So you have to know like who you can hire. So, for example, if you want to hire someone like me, like an individual filmmaker, you can most likely find stuff like on Fiverr. Was it? ZipRecruiter. You can post on sites.
Indeed, like that.
Indeed. Like those are like more like job sites, but they're places to find like freelancers, like
Fiverr.
Freelancer.com.
Upwork is another one. But those types of websites normally, if you especially look to hire for a freelancer, like that's where you should find them. And you would write down your post, what you want to accomplish, how much you're willing to pay for the job. People will apply. Period. You're looking for more of like a company that has more experience or like has people that works under them and would have more manpower. You'd look for companies like Vision Paradox. How would we find you?
How would we find what?
How would they find companies like Vision Paradox?
You can go to
find you. You
can go to visionparadox.com or you can email Maxine
at visionparadox.com.
Yeah.
So they basically said, don't hire any other company besides Vision Paradox.
Yes. Oh, so are you talking? No, you're talking about other companies, like legit other companies.
Like on that, like on Vision Paradox's spectrum, like so, like there's the individual filmmaker, and then there's like
another company,
companies that have more
like some
manpower.
sort of digital.
Yeah, like digital.
I'm not gonna lie, it's
digital company, digital service.
like
company.
I honestly have always just stumbled into seeing companies like that.
Deviation connection.
Like, yeah, like, well, he's an individual.
I know.
I would start off with Googling like movie production company,
Yeah.
like simple, and then you look for like these weird named studios that aren't exactly mainstream.
Yeah, or
And
like
you-
studios that don't have an actual studio, like a physical studio. I would say like that's like
So just a garage or
or like
They're
you
scattered.
shoot on site, or like you have
Yeah.
freelancers under you. Or
That's
like,
essentially like us. Like we
That's
have like, because one, it benefits the company that we don't have an overhead to pay,
yeah.
and it gives everyone a lot of flexibility, and everyone in the team can contribute in a way of equipment.
Yeah.
And we've done a pretty good job so far, especially with the I Vote campaign. That was
Jesus. good. But yeah, so then there's those types of smaller companies, and if that's in your budget, or like there's more likely, because aside from an individual, because they have more manpower, there's going to be more variety of equipment, so like production value might be higher, then there's also like the smaller studios that may actually have a studio, and then you would have to hire the director, maybe pitch the idea via email, talk to their either HR or whatever.
That's a
much
process.
more digital
That's a
process, and it's a
process.
lot of waiting and emailing. And if you wanted to go to a bigger studio, even worse. Even worse. Lots of pitching. You better have a good ass PowerPoint or like some shit.
or you probably already
Or a pitch
have
deck.
something.
I mean,
You better have a pitch deck.
It would even if you ever decide to even go to a big company, it would make sense to work with a small company first
Right.
to show that you have proof of concept. Then you go to a higher studio, to a bigger studio.
Yeah.
because
Didn't we have a client that was like that? They had us like doing some other video editing for some sort of proof of concept, and they were going to submit it to someone. Or,
oh yeah, no, that
or something similar.
that
to
edit is never going to see the light of day. I talked to him about it because it was so conceptual, and there were so many things that we had to deal with in post, and like the sound was just shit. Like
That's so
right,
hard.
yeah, and then
That's what we had to work with.
so like and then that would just never happen.
Right. And that's basically it. I mean, besides like the whole budget, all the logistical stuff, find someone who's interested in your story for real.
Yep.
It'll come out nice.
All right.